So here we are, actually in the LINC system. Now, if you are not a registered user or if you're not logged in, you will not. These are specific to me because I am logged in right now. If you are not a registered user, anyone can use LINC. So the functionality that we're going to be talking about right now is really open to any user. You do not have to be a registered user. However, if you do become a registered user, you get a couple of nice features, which we hope will make your life easier. First of all, it allows you to subscribe to data sets. So if you're finding that specific data items are very helpful to you, you can get a notification when those data sets are updated. So you'll know when the newest data becomes available. It also allows you to see more data sets. The public users, non-registered users, will only see a subset of the total number of data sets that are available. And those can be limited for a number of reasons. So you may only be able to see general data sets for dealing with counties, municipalities, and the state. On the other hand, if you become a registered user, eventually there may be data sets that cover more geographies like block groups. So you see more data, you will get more functionality by becoming a registered user, and it's absolutely free. So I would encourage you, if you're interested in data or if you're going to be using the data more regularly, become a registered user. So the search window that you see at the top, it's similar to the search window that you'll see on the OSBM pages. This is actually searching the data within LINC. Now, there are a couple of hiccups that I need to warn you about. When you're doing a search, and we'll talk about this when we get into the data catalog, you are not searching all the data. You are searching the descriptive information that we will see within each data set. Once you get into the data set, the search becomes more powerful. But at this level, you're really searching the tip of the iceberg. So the top of what we see on the screen is our navigation bar. Clicking on data will take you into the data catalog. So you will see all the data sets, and data sets are simply the groupings of data so that you can surf through them. Um, then you'll see maps. So you do have the ability within the new system to create thematic maps. Chart is to create graphs or charts in a number of different ways. You can click on either one of these options here, but you'll also get the same functionality within the data sets. I think it's easier to find the data you want first and then begin creating the map or the chart rather than starting from this end. But if you know this is what you want to do, you can absolutely start from here. If you're lost, if you need help, there's a help button where you can send us a message and a member of the LINC team will get back to you. And the contact information, if you have just general questions or you would like to share information, you can always get into contact with the team by clicking that link. So scrolling down, I mentioned on old LINC, if there are any legacy users, you may remember the old topic reports. And I mentioned that topics were how we grouped some of the big collection of data that we had. Over 1,200 data series in the old LINC. We're closer to over 2,000 now. So those data variables are grouped into what we're now just calling categories. So the categories are around these broad category themes. Education, population and housing, vital statistics. The themes, the categories also have an icon, a geographic or a graphical code that follows you throughout the data sets. So when we get into looking at the data sets, if you see these icons, that'll clue you in that data in this data set is tied to that theme. So what we've done here is for maybe our novice users or for people who aren't very familiar with LINC, you get to dive in and just look at, well, what sort of data is available in education? If we click on that tab, we'll come into the theme page, gives you a little bit of a textual description of what we're looking at, but then it also gives you a sampling of data for the state of North Carolina in the education field. All of these visualizations were created within the system. As a registered user, you'll have the ability to create any of these things yourself. You'll be able to export these and use them in either a report you're putting together. You can embed items on your own website. So you can actually create these charts and maps within the system without having to have a GIS system. Your GIS system will give you more power, more functionality. But if you just need a quick map, you can do it within the system. So here, we've given you a quick view of North Carolina data, but you see the county list on the side. So if we're interested in seeing the same data, but for Cabarrus County, we can click on that. It will redraw. If we hover over the map and then click on it, it'll give us the data point for Cabarrus County. All the data items over here have repopulated with Cabarrus County data. And if we scroll down the page, the charts that we see down here, these have redrawn for Cabarrus County data. And we can clear that, go right back to where we were, and then you can pick a different county. This functionality is true of all the landing pages. If it turns out that you're in this and you're like, yeah, this is the data that I've really been looking for, I want more, you can visit the data catalog. Clicking this link is the same as clicking this data link here. That takes you into the deeper resource of all the data that we have available in LINC. So I'll click the back arrow a couple of times now. So now we're back to the home page. So you can browse any of these category pages, function the exact same way, only the data items will be different. And we have a big link here to the state demographer's data. Dr. Klein's going to be talking about that later, but he has an entire subdomain within the LINC system that demonstrates and serves just his data. The functionality is very much the same, but I'll let Dr. Klein talk about that. Toward the bottom of the page, we have highlighted data stories. This is also a feature that's open to all registered users. If you're grabbing data from LINC and combining it with local data that you have to do any kind of work, whether it's a local assessment report, whether you're doing just a general annual report, and you'd like to highlight what you're doing with LINC data or your data, this is a great place to do it. So we're in Black History Month now. We have a data story here telling the story of the Black community within North Carolina. So we have 2010, the Black population and the total population, as well as the 2020 data and a projection from Dr. Klein, as well as some economic data. Again, we have the dynamic charts here. The functionality is very much the same as what we just saw on the education landing page. But these data stories are totally open. We'd like for these to be the stories of how data is being used across North Carolina, and it doesn't have to be solely within LINC. So if you're doing a regular report, a quarterly report, and you'd like to have it highlighted, please share it with us. You can contact us by using the contact link at the top of the page, or you're more than welcome to contact me directly. But we'd like for these data stories to rotate and be fresher. The state comparisons is a report that's done within LINC. This is something that was asked for from the General Assembly, and this compares how North Carolina ranks with other states. So this is really the only resource within LINC that contains non-North Carolina geographies, and that's just the data from the other states in the United States. At the bottom of the page, we've got latest updates. So if a data set has been modified, so you'll see there was an update in the vital statistics data set 4 days ago. Population by age, race, and sex was updated 4 days ago, so you can keep an eye on what was updated when. You can also see who the most popular players are. So educational attainment has the most downloads as of right now. And you can see when some custom visualizations were developed, those get highlighted here as well. And at the bottom of the page, you have a link to submit your own story. So that's another way you can share your work with us. So that's the LINC homepage. To really dive into the data, though, you want to go to the data catalog. So if you click the data link at the top, or you follow the data link from within one of those landing pages, you'll come here. So what you're seeing here, 108 data sets. I'm seeing 108 data sets because I'm logged in as a registered user. If I was not, that number is about 65 to 70 data sets. So I'm seeing about 30 more data sets than the non-registered users would. So again, that's a benefit to being a registered user. Note that you have the ability to organize all these 108 data sets over here by either when they were modified, which one is the most popular alphabetically, or other sources. Keep an eye on this window here. These filters let you know how you are organizing your search, what you've selected, because the number of results you're actually looking at. So you'll also notice if you come down, you can sort by, I want to be able to look at data sets that allow me to analyze the data. And you see that has the chart there. So these are data sets that allow you to do charting. All the data sets allow you to do that. Custom view, we'll talk a little bit about that when we get into it. There are 32 data sets that are already pre-set up for mapping, although you can map almost all the data that's in the system right now. You can also select, I want to look at data sets that were modified by year. You can also look at data sets that were published by which reporting agency. You can also look at keywords and themes. Now, themes are those themes that we talked about earlier, the categories. So all the agriculture will have the tobacco leaf on it. Um, the economic and industry will have the dollar sign on it. Those are the themes. So if that's the only thing that you're interested in, you can select those here. Keywords are these tabs that have been added underneath each data set. When you do a search, if you don't know what you're looking for, you just have a general idea. When you use the search here, the only thing you are searching is the descriptive text, the publishing text, and these keywords. You're not searching the variable names within the data set. You actually have to be in the data set to search those items. So it's kind of a two-step search process.